Hi, all of you. Is your sound is audible?
Yes, thanks.
Okay, that's good. Okay, let's continue. So, in the last class, if you remember, we discussed about that how to create the EC2 instances here. Okay, how to destroy the resources. Then I showed you that if we want to do the multiple work, like we have to launch the EC2 instance, then we have to create a EBS volume, then we have to attach the EBS volume. If we want to download some code from the Git, right? And we have to keep it in some particular folder inside that EC2 instance. We saw that all these things we can do, okay, by writing the code. And this was the directory we created. And to open this directory in the VS Code editor, I simply said that you have to write the CMD, or you can directly go to the CMD to that particular location. And here you have to just write code space dot, and it is going to open the VS Code editor in that particular directory. Okay, and these all were the file which we were working on. Okay, and last one was this one, Apache Web Server one, where we written the EC2. Then the block storage, it was creating the EBS volume. Then the attach block, which was helping us to attach the volume. And fourth was the apache.tf, the main important file. Okay, which one was first helped us to go inside the machine using the connection resource. Okay, where we given the username, private key file. Okay, and the public IP we directly took it from this variable. Now, uh, after that, we run some using the help of the remote execute. We run the inline command, and these all were the command which helped us to achieve all that things. Okay. So similarly, today we are going to understand about the VPC. Okay, what is VPC? VPC full form is Virtual Private Cloud. And if you are applying for DevOps engineer role, or if you are applying for cloud engineer role like that, okay, and if you are going in interview, and if the question will not come from the VPC, it can't be possible, right? They will definitely ask you what is the understanding of VPC. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I will first try to explain you what actual VPC is in the simplest form. Okay, and I will give you the idea also how to create everything by direct from the AWS, direct from the Terraform by writing the code, and by direct using the Terraform module. Okay, so these three things we are going to cover today. And after that, even I will suggest that go some like a blog or something or official documentation, and you can get some little bit more idea about the VPC. More and more you will know about VPC. Okay, it's better that you can crack the interview easily, because VPC is a good discussion topic, you can say. Okay, during the interview, if some person are good with VPC concept, so interviewer will get to know that okay, you know everything. Okay, that is the thing about the VPC. So if you'll try to search on the Google, okay, how the VPC image. So this is the simplest image, okay, of the VPC. This image I uploaded in the Google Drive, also in the document section. Okay, so this image I am going to explain it. This image also I got it directly from by searching here, nothing like that. We found it somewhere different or like that. There are so many images you can see. Okay, like this is a image, this is a image. Okay, but what we are going to do is we'll try to understand how it is going to happen. Okay. So first I will just explain you the simplest image that I just copied here. Okay. So see, the first thing you have to understand is VPC just think like a multi-story building. Okay. This is a big building. Okay. And in that building, or you can think like VPC is just like your college campus. Like there is a college campus and that we are terming it as a VPC. Okay. In that college campus there will be different lab will be there, right? uh, there will be some lab associated to some mechanical department, some for electronics department, some for electrical department. Like this way it will be going to happen. Okay, now in every lab it will be not like only one laptop will be there, right? Or one computer will be there. In a single lab there will be multiple computer, like 40 computer, 50 computer is there. Okay, similarly in other lab also 40 computer, 50 computer are there. Okay, now, at last, all these computers should be connected to some type of the internet, right? Then only people will be able to access that computer. Okay. So this is the thing. Like there is a different lab available. Okay, in a campus, and all that lab you have to integrate together. Okay, and they should be connected to some a specific internet source. Okay, how to achieve this type of the thing that we are going to discuss. So this is the BPC, okay, college campus. Inside this first region you are seeing, okay, just treat it as a lab one, and this you can treat it as a lab two. Okay. Now just think like you are inside a room. This is the lab one room. Okay. Inside this lab one room, there are 50 computers. Okay. And if I'm going to ask you that what I want is all these 50 computers should be communicated to each other. Okay. These all computers are present in the same room. Okay. What I want that the first computer can communicate to the second computer in this room, second computer can communicate to the third computer. So do you know any networking device which can help you to achieve this? Like you can take the example from your surroundings, like anytime you saw any device which can help you to connect all these computers together. Anybody? Like there is a same room. Okay, inside that room there are 50 computers. I want to connect each other. Anybody? No? Have you heard about the switch? Anybody here? Have you heard about switch?
Yes, thanks. Layer 3 device. Layer 4.
Yeah. So switch is a device, okay, which help us to connect two devices, or you can say like two computer, take an example, to each other locally. What happened? Wait. Okay, locally. So if in this there will be a switch will be available, okay, and to that switch the first computer will be also connected, the second computer will be also connected, and since both the computer are connected with the same switch, okay, so this first computer and second computer can also communicate to each other. So that is the switch concept here. So in every room there will be one switch will be available. One switch will be in this room also. One switch will be available in this room also. Okay. So this you got. Now that there is a lab, inside that lab there are 50 computers. All these 50 computers will be integrated to each other with the help of the switch. Okay. Similarly, in this lab too, also all these 50 computers will be integrated to each other with the help of the switch. Now the question is, this is a different room. This is a different room. Okay. I want to communicate between this room to this room computer and from this room computer to this room computer. Okay. That means mechanical lab computer should be able to communicate with the electronics lab computer, something like that. Okay. So in this case, what is the tool is going to help you? Router. Okay. Like in our home, we have the router, right? So with the router, what we can do, one device is present in one of the room, other device is present in another room. Okay. We can communicate to each other. Okay. We can share the data, we can share the file. So that is the concept of the router. And this router is going to be connected with the internet gateway. Like in our home also, there is a one router, okay, and that router is connected with the some ONU device. You can say like fiber cable comes, and from there it go to the ONU device. ONU device it go to the router. So basically our router is connected to some internet gateway source. Okay, it can be from any broadband provider or any internet provider. And that internet provider is again connected further to some internet resources. And again, internet is nothing. If you know that what is the internet, so internet is nothing. Internet is just like you are accessing the data from somewhere else. Okay, it is not like I am accessing the www.google.com and it is coming from some space or something. No, it is going to some US data center where the google.com server are there. They are connecting from there. They are taking the resources, search data, everything, and whatever the result Google is giving, that with the internet wires that is spread all across the world. Okay. Through that, it is coming to my broadband provider. From that broadband provider, it is coming to my router. From my router, it is going to coming to our switch. From switch, it is getting distributed uh, to our computer. Okay. Now in our home, whatever the router you buy, okay, like if you are buying some router for your home, so that router comes with the router functionality also and switch functionality also. Have you ever check on that? Anybody? Like, have you ever researched that routers, whatever we are buying in the home, that comes with the switch functionality also? Anybody? Have you checked?
Yes, yes, it
Because see,
has
with that router,
those-
not only you can create the hotspot or something, okay, you can basically act it as a repeater also, right? And there are 2 to 3 modes that we can do it. Basically, we can attach one LAN cable there, and other LAN cable will be act as a output. So that is basically a switch concept, okay, where you are entering the data from one port and from other port you are taking the data. Okay, so that will be considered as a switch. Router is they are providing us the internet access. Okay, like they are creating the Wi-Fi hotspot through that we are accessing the internet. That comes under the router category. And there are two mobile phone that is connected with that router, and we are communicating between these two mobile phone without the help of the internet. That comes under the switch functionality. Okay, so hope now this diagram is little bit clear to you. Okay, now if this diagram is clear, so there is one more diagram. Let's check any complex example. Okay, let's take this one. So okay, now again see the exact same thing. Okay, this is the cloud. From cloud it is connected to some internet gateway. Internet gateway is the main thing. You can think like this is our broadband connection or something in our coming in our home. From that broadband connection we are connecting it to some router. Okay, and that router is distributing this internet between this room also and this room also. Okay, now in every room we have some different set of IP address. Like if somebody tried to anytime configure the router whenever you buy from the market, okay, or like you are just applying for any broadband connection or something, so that person comes, they do all some type of the setup. Okay, so what they do, they choose some set of the IP address, right, like 192.168.115 something like that. Okay, like in my router I given some IP address. Okay, so when I will open my devices list, like here if I'm open the CMD and if I'll type here IP config, so they are going to follow some specific set of IP actually. Okay, so like this is the IP they are following 192.168.181.37. Okay, that means if any devices that is connected to my hotspot currently, okay, up to here their IP address will be same 192.168.181. Only this IP is going to be differentiated. How I am saying this? Because our subnet is this one. Okay, so see, this is the 8 bits number. This is 8-bit number. This is 8-bit number. This is 8-bit number. Okay. What is the meaning of 8-bit number? So if you know the computer networking, so 8-bit means 2 to the power 8. 2 to the power 8 is equal to 256, right? And if you are starting the counting with 0, so if you'll reach up to 255, the total devices connected will be 256, right? If you are starting the counting from the 0. So in this, we are saying that this 255, 255, 255, this already reach up to the higher limit, right? So only this is at the 0 level. So it can go maximum up to 255, right? So if I'm going to ask you that in my router, maximum how many devices can connect with this subnet? So what will be the answer? By just seeing this? Anybody? Like how many total number of IP we can give by seeing this? See, this all are already went to the maximum limit, right? This is from the 0. This can go maximum up to 255. So total, how many devices can be connected? Not getting? It will be 256 devices, right? Like we are going to start the counting with 0. Okay, 0, 1, 2, and it will go up to 255 only. Okay, so there will be 256 devices you can connect. Okay. Similarly, if I'll remove this 255 and here also I give 0, dot 0, then we can connect 256 into 256. Okay, it will be around 65,000 something devices will be there around that. Okay, so like this way we can do it. So if any devices is getting connected, so up to here it is going to say somebody will have the number as 36, 34, 33, like that way. It is going to vary from 0 to 255. Okay, like that way. So this is the same. Now, so exact same thing here, it is saying that there are some IP address we mentioned that in this lab, okay, whichever computer will be connected, their IP address will belong to this subnet. Okay, like that means they will be started with 172.31 and this two number is going to be differentiated. And here also similarly, this last number is going to be differentiated, something like that. Okay, so once we get this cake, okay, this machine contains this IP address, this lab contains this IP address. Now, when you will come to the EC2 instance section, okay, like this EC2 instance, currently what we are doing is we were launching the instance directly. Okay, like if I'm launching the instance, so we are giving the name, we are giving the image, we are giving the instance type, key pair, and then we are talking about the VPC here. Okay, what is the VPC? This is the default VPC. Whenever you create a AWS account, they already create a VPC also associated with your account and they give with you. So if I click on edit, okay, so they are saying that which VPC you want to use. Currently, I have only one VPC, that is the default. And in this, see what is the IP they are talking about. 172.31.0.0/16. Okay, what is the meaning of this IP? So if I'll open something like subnet calculator or something. Let's come to this one. Okay. And what is the IP address they are mentioning? 172.31.0.0/16. Okay. So I'm just mentioning here 172.31.0.0. And here it is /16. So they are saying here, like if I'm giving /16, so it will be around 65,536 IP. Click here. So they are saying you given this range. Okay, and since you given this range, so your IP is going to start from this 172.31.0.0 and it can go maximum 172.31.255.255. Okay. Now, if we are going up to the 255.255, so it will be start the counting like this. Like first devices I connected, my IP will be 172.31.0.1. Second device 31.0.2. Then like this way 0.2, it will be go up to 0.255. Once it reach 0.255, then it will start 172.31.1.0, then 1.1, 1.2 like this way. And again it will go 1.255. Similarly, it will reach 255. Then again it will start 2.0, 2.1, 2.2, 2.3. Then it will go 2.2555. And that's why from 1, 2, 3, 4, like it will reach also up to 255. And if we'll calculate how many total IPs there, it will be around 65,536. Okay, is this making sense, all of you? Yes or no? Okay. Now, once you got this term also, okay, now again let's come. And now let me quickly show you what is the IP. I said you that this can be the IP, right? But it's totally on you whether you want to trust or not, right? So you will come simply on this instance and you'll see what is the IP here, 172.31.8.176. Okay. And I said you that your IP is going to be between in this range only. So 172.31.8.76 you are talking about. That means it is coming in that range only, right? And it is lesser than 255, 255. Okay. Similarly, if I'll select some different instance. So here, what is the IP? 172.31.11.230. Again, that is in that particular range only, right? It is between in this range only. So that means whatever the EC2 instances you are creating in that particular VPC, okay, their IP address will be associated between that range only. It will be always going to start with the 172.31. Only this two number is going to change, and it will be always less than 255, 255. Now, the theory of VPC is completed. Now, what we are going to see is how we can create the VPC from the AWS side. So if we'll search here VPC, so VPC is just like an isolated cloud resources. Okay, like in my same AWS account, I want to isolate everything. Okay, like I want to create a new campus. Okay, or you can think like I want to create a new cloud type of the resources just for the development team, which can access by the development team only. So there will be one VPC dedicated to the development team. Inside that, I'm creating 3 to 4 labs. One will be the development team who is developing the Amazon website. One will be for the Amazon application like this way. Okay. Similarly, there are other team, DevOps team. For them, I will be dedicate one more VPC like that way. So it happens. That's why it is called as isolated cloud resources. The person from outside of the VPC, EC2 instances from outside the VPC, they will be not able to communicate the computer inside that VPC. So if I'll open this, So if you'll go in the your VPC section, okay, so you see that currently one VPC is available here. That's all. And in this, I mentioned this range. Okay, that's why they are taking the IP address from this range. We mentioned it this range. That's why we can mention some different range also. Like if I want that this IP should not start with 172.31, it should be start with 10.24, something like this. That also I can give. It's totally on us. Okay. So to create a VPC, what are the things you have to write? You have to write the VPC name. You have to give some CIDR range here. Like previously they given 172.31.0.0/16, something like this. So similarly, you have to also choose some CIDR. If you choose /24, then how many maximum IP you can give? Like if I'm giving /24, so we can go up to 256 IP only. Okay, maximum 256 IP we can give. Okay, so only 256 devices will be connected. If I'm going it /20, so maximum 4,996 devices we can connect. Similarly, /16, it can connect up to 65,000. /15, 1,31,000, something like this. Like this way, it is keep increasing. Okay, if you'll give /1, so you can get this many IPs. Okay, like this way. So we have to fill this CIDR block also, and simply I will click on create VPC. So that way our VPC will be created. Okay. Once the VPC will be created, then we have to create the subnets also. Okay. So what is the subnet? So currently subnet is just like a lab, right? I shown you that this is a college campus. Inside that there are two labs. Okay. So here by default, they given you the three lab. One lab is running in 1A, other lab is running in 1B, third lab is running in 1C availability zone. Okay. But it is not like you can create only one lab in a particular availability zone. No, I can create 5 different lab in the same availability zone. That also I can do. Okay. And I have to mention this availability zone with different IP address. Okay. Like I said that if our EC2 instance is running in 1A, okay, then our IP address will be between this range. If our EC2 instance is running in 1B or something, then its IP address should be like this, from this range, like this way we are mentioning here. Okay, whatever the range you are mentioning here, that range is only going to work. Okay. Similarly, internet gateway, that is the main thing which will help us to go to the internet. So there will be one internet gateway that will be attached to one VPC. Okay, for every VPC there will be one internet gateway. If I want to create the internet gateway, I will simply click here, it will be created. Other than that, like if I'm clicking here, create internet gateway. So see, they're just asking us for the name, and I will create the internet gateway like that. Okay. Then again, there is a route table. What is the route table? In the route table, we say that if somebody want to go to the outer world, okay, so how they can go it? Like if they want to, somebody want to go to this IP address. This IP address is basically means anything in the world. Okay, anywhere you can go. So you have to go using the internet gateway. Okay, like this way we are mentioning here. If you are going locally from like one lab to another lab, so you can use the local connection like router, everything. Okay, subnet association, you can see that how many subnet is associated. So currently 3 subnets are associated with it. So these all things are there. Okay, but how you can create all these things: VPC, subnet, route table, internet gateway. Okay, with the help of Terraform, that we are going to see. So to see this, the first thing what you have to do is you can follow this document. Okay. So to set up the VPC using Terraform, okay, the first thing you have to do is you have to create a network or VPC first. Okay, and that you can do it from this subnet calculator. Subnet calculator link I already given. Exact same calculator that I showed you. Okay, this is the calculator. So you can check here what are the IP we are going to give everything. Second thing, we have to create a internet gateway, because see, whenever we are setting up the lab, everything, there should be some internet gateway which will provide the internet connectivity. Okay. Third thing, what we have to do is whatever the newly internet gateway will be created, okay, that we have to attach it to our custom VPC. Okay. Then we are going to create two subnet, like two lab only we will be going to create. And the name of the two subnets should be unique. You cannot give the same name to the same two different subnets. No, all the subnet will have different names. Okay. Now you have to create a routing table in which you will say that your internet gateway is going to go from any IP address. Okay, that means if somebody want to go to the google.com, or if somebody they want to go to the amazon.com, they should be able to go with the help of the internet gateway. And we have to associate that particular route table to respective subnet. Okay, that also we have to do. So we have to do 6 steps. Okay. So we are going to start with the first step. The first step, what we are going to do is, okay, we'll create the provider.tf file. So before doing that, what we are going to do is, I'll create a folder here with the name VPC. Inside this VPC, we are creating a first file with the name provider.tf. In this file, again, we have to fill the information regarding that connectivity, how they are going to connect. So they will use the AWS cloud, okay, and they will use the Terraform profile to communicate there. Okay. So that I am pasting and I am saving this. So provider.tf file is clear to all of you. And then after this provider.tf file, the second thing what we are going to do is we're going to create a variable.tf file. Why we are creating the variable.tf file? So just let me create, then I will tell you. Let's create a file with the name variable.tf. Variable.tf file contains the variable data. Why variable data? So see, I am going to write the BPC code, okay, but it is not like there will be only one team member who is going to create the BPC, okay. Like take an example, tomorrow, one more development team or testing team require one more BPC setup, okay, in the AWS cloud in the company. Now, are they going to write this code again? No. What I will do is I will give them this entire code. Okay. And the new person who is going to create, take an example, they don't want to run it in the EP South one. They want to run it in the US-East-1. Okay. So they will simply come to this variable.tf page and they will just change this value. That's all. Other things they don't have to change. If they want to change that, our CIDR range will be not between this. It should start with something 172.32, something like that. So they will just mention that here. Similarly, our subnet range should not be a start from this. It should be a start from this. Okay, so they will mention this, change the value. So variable files that whatever the value we require, okay, that we can change it easily. Like currently, I want that my both subnet will be created in 1A and 1B. Okay, if somebody wants that their subnet should be created in 1C and 1D, something like that. So they will come here and they will change the name like US-East-1C, US-East-1D, like that. So variable.tf file helps us to do the changes easily. Okay, rather than changing the code, we'll just change the value here itself. Okay, so just saving this file. So variable.tf file is there. Now after this, is this variable.tf file is clear? Because I already explained one time. If you want me to explain, so see, like here we are mentioning the variable. We are creating a variable with the name AWS region. Inside that, I am giving the default value of that variable is AP South1. So if I am somewhere using in the code that our AWS region is AWS underscore region, so they will automatically understand that, okay, we are talking about AP South1. Similarly, VPC CIDR, that means the value is this one. Similarly, here the subnet CIDR, I am giving a list. Okay. So in the list, we can contain the multiple values. So if I'm saying that subnet CIDR at the 0 index, which IP is there, so they will say this one. In the subnet CIDR, the first index, what is the value? This is the value. Okay, like this way. Similarly, in the availability zone, if you're talking about, so what is the 0th index value? 1A. First index, this is the value. Okay, so that is the meaning here. Now, after variable.tf file, we are going to create a vpc.tf file. Okay, again, this is a bigger file. So I am just copying one by one and I will keep explaining. Okay, so let me just first copy up to here. And see, whatever this vpc.tf file I'm writing here, okay, it is not like we are writing from everything from scratch. No, we are taking the help of this one, Terraform, vpc documentation. It will search it. AWS VPC resource they will show you. In this, they are saying that to create any VPC, okay, the first thing what you will require is you will require a CIDR block. Okay, so you will require a resource called AWS VPC. You can give your VPC resource name anything, but you have to mention the CIDR block. CIDR block is the necessary thing. Or you can write something like this also, where you are mentioning the CIDR block and you are mentioning the name of your VPC. So exact same thing I done here. What I done here, I created a resource with the name AWS VPC. I given the resource name as main only. Okay. But CIDR block, they are asking us that what is the IP address, right? So if you'll see here in this document, they are saying that we have to mention some IP address 10.0.0.0/16. So rather than writing the CIDR block like this is a hard coded value, right? So if somebody have to change this value, so what they will do, they will manually come to this file and they will change it, right? So that is not a good way. So what they will do is they are going to read this CIDR block IP from this variable var.vpc underscore CIDR. What is this VPC underscore CIDR? This is the exact same thing we talked about, VPC underscore CIDR. So from here, they will automatically take this value and they will store this value at this location. And our VPC name, when it will be created, will be my VPC. That also I mentioned. Okay. So the first block, anybody have any confusion in this one? This is going to create a VPC with the CIDR block 10.0.0/16 like that. Okay. And the name of that VPC will be my VPC. Okay. Now, second thing is we are going to talk about the internet gateway. So if you'll come here in this document again, and you'll see that something related to internet gateway they are talking about. So VPC, okay, let me check here. Okay, this is the VPC. Okay, so we talked about the VPC. The second thing what you have to do is internet gateway. So see, there is an internet gateway concept here. If I'll click on this, so they are clearly saying that if you want to create an internet gateway, you have to use a resource called internet gateway, AWS internet gateway, give some resource that name. Okay. And here you have to mention the VPC ID. That means once your VPC is created, like yesterday, if you remember EBS volume, once the EBS volume was getting created, then we are taking that ID of EBS volume and we are giving it to the attachment module. So they were able to attach that particular volume to EC2 instance. So same thing here, we have to mention the VPC ID and that internet gateway will be attached to that particular VPC. And whatever the name you want to give to internet gateway, that you can write it here. So exact same thing I said, that AWS internet gateway, VPC ID will be this one. How they will take this ID? So I'm saying that what you have to do is you have to find the VPC ID from this resource, AWS under VPC. This is the resource. Okay. Inside this, our VPC resource name is main. So that's why I given dot main. And inside this, there will be a block called ID. Okay. There will be ID in the AWS VPC. That ID you have to take it and you have to store inside this VPC underscore ID. And after that, you have to give this internet gateway name as my internet gateway. So this is also done. Now we are talking about the subnet. Okay. So let me first copy the subnet part code. Okay. So now we are talking about the subnet again, from where we took this subnet code. So if we'll come here and we'll go in this AWS default subnet or any other file. Okay, AWS subnet, let's go. Okay. So in this subnet, they are saying that what you have to do is if you want to create a new subnet, okay, so you can give the name resource AWS subnet, give your subnet some resource name. Okay, then you have to mention the VPC ID, okay, which VPC you are using. Then you have to mention the CIDR block. So see, in subnet also we have to mention the CIDR block. Like when I'm creating the subnet here, okay, from locally. So there are 3 subnet is already created. If I want to create one more subnet, what are the data we have to fill? We have to select the VPC inside which we are going to create the subnet. And then we have to give our subnet name. Okay. And then we have to give the availability zone, in which availability zone we want to create that subnet. Okay. And we have to mention the IPv4 CIDR block. And this CIDR should be in the range of that IP address given to this. Like, see, this is the range of my VPC, right? If I'm writing here something 10.0.0/24 or something, it is not going to work. Okay, it will give the error when I will create the subnet. It is going to give the error because this is not in the range. Okay, like let me just show you test. And okay, let me just to create subnet. See, this CIDR address is not within the CIDR address from VPC. Because see, this is the actual IP address, right? So whatever the IP address associated inside your subnet lab, okay, that should be in this particular range only. Okay, so if you are talking about this range, so this range consists of 65,000 IP address in total. Okay, so in that 65,000 IP address, I am saying that there will be a subnet will be created or a particular lab will be created, and in that particular lab, just take an example more, we thought that okay, not more than 250 computer is going to be present in that particular level, right? So what I can do is I will take the IP range of the 255 computer, okay, from this range. So I will write something like this: 172.31.28, something like this, dot 0/24. If I'm writing this, then it will be considered under that, right? Okay, actually they are doing it, so they already took it something, so let me just check. Okay, it is also existing submit they are doing. Wait, okay, I think this one will, yeah, this will work perfectly. So like this way we give it. So now what will happen in this subnet, if somebody EC2 instance is getting created, so that EC2 instance can take the IP address from 172.31.255.1.2.3 like that way. So up to 3 digit, it is going to be the same. Only the last will be going to differentiate. So maximum 256 computer can be available inside this range. So like this way we have to create. Okay. So same thing we are doing here in the subnet section. Okay, we mentioned here that we have to create a subnet. Okay, now they will ask us that how many subnets you want to create. So I want currently 2 subnet to be created. Okay, so when I'm creating the 2 subnet, so how they will give the name unique, right? Because the first subnet they will create with the name subnet 1, second subnet they will create with the name subnet 2. Okay, the second thing, the first subnet I want that they should take this IP address range. Second subnet should take this IP address as a range. Okay, that also I want to do. And also I want to do that first subnet should take AP South 1A. It should be created in 1A, and the second subnet should be created in 1B. Okay, so how they are going to use these things in this code. So I'm saying that the first thing what you have to do is you have to count the length, okay, of the subnet CIDR. So if I'm asking you that what is the length of this subnet CIDR, anybody? What is the length of this subnet CIDR? Length is means how many total number is there. Total subnet, like total digit, how many digit are present in this list? Anybody? Anybody know about list data type or no? Have you not heard about list data type? At least say yes or no, so I can explain.
Are we trying to see how many hosts these 2 subnets can have, or what are we trying
No,
to
no,
do? So?
like total number of values. Like see, this is a list. Okay, take an example. See, this is a list I am going to create, and inside this is the first name I am giving as John. Okay, second name I am giving as Zach. Like double quote. Name should be in the double quote. Okay, and the third name something like Surya or something like that. Okay, and if somebody is asking you that how many person or how many data types are present here inside this, okay, so you have to say that total 3 person are there inside this list, right? Total 3 name. So in this 3 name, if I'm going to ask you, okay, and take an example, this list name is something like this. A. A is equal to this one. Okay. Now if I'm saying that, can you tell me what is the value stored in the A0? What will the value it will print? Any programming language. It will print John. Similarly, if I'm writing A1, so it will print Jack. Okay. Similarly, if I'm asking that, can you print the value written in the A in the second index? So it will be Surya. Is this clear? Is this three thing?
Yes,
So
yes.
I can take one value from here by mentioning this index 0, 1, 2 like that. So here, if I'm writing subnet CIDR 0, so it will take this value. Subnet CIDR 1, so it will take this value. Okay, because here the variable is not a variable is subnet CIDR. So exact same thing here we are mentioning. So you have to first count the length. So length of this subnet is 2. Total 2 values are there. So total length will be 2. So count value will be stored as 2. Okay. VPCID, they will directly get it from this AWS vpc.main.id. Second thing is the CIDR block. How they will get the CIDR range here? I'm saying what you have to do is for finding the CIDR block, you have to use the element function. If you try to search in the Google about the element function in the Terraform, so they are saying in this element function, they requires two value. Okay, like if somebody is typing like this element, then they are typing like this. So what it will do? It will print B. Why B it will print? Because we are talking about the first index. Similarly, if somebody is talking about the third index, it will print what? Whatever. Yeah, it is more than 3, right? It should go from 0, 1, 2 only. So it is more than 2. So that's why it is printing 1 only. And if I do minus 1 is like you are starting the counting from C. So we don't have to worry about, we have to going to see about this example only. Take an example. If I'll write here 0, it is going to print A. If I'll write 1, it is going to print B. If I'm going to write here 2, it is going to print C. Okay. So basically it contains the first the name of the list. Second thing, it contains the index, which value you want to access. Okay. So same thing here in the element function. First thing I'm writing the subnet CIDR. This is the list actually. Okay. When I'm mentioning var.subnet CIDR, so they will get this entire list value. Okay. This is square bracket one. So they will get that value and this value will be, you can think like pasted here. Okay. And in this, I said count.index, count.index. So total count value was 2. So in the starting, the first value, they will take it as a 0. Okay. Now in this 0, when they will find that 0 index, what is the value? So they will get, okay, this is the value 10.0.1.0. Okay. Once they got that value, so what will happen? The CIDR block value will be equal to 10.0.1.0/24. Okay. Once they got this value, then availability zone. Again, the availability zone also they will find it like that way only. They will go to this list, find the 0 index, and they will find that, okay, EP South 1A is there. So now what they are going to do is they will create a subnet. Okay. In that I am subnet, the first one, 0th index, and in that availability zone 1A. Okay. Now how they will give the name? I even said that name should be different, right? So the first name what they will create is they will write the name as subnet dash and then count.index value is 0. Here also I talked about that count.index value will be in the starting, it will be 0. So 0 plus 1, 1. So the first subnet which is going to be created, its name will be subnet 1. Once this loop is done, then the second loop, they have the count up to 2, right? So this time the index will be not 0, it will be 1. Then again, this time they will take this IP address and they will take this availability zone. So they will take that value. And here they will do count.index plus 1. So count.index this time it is 1. So 1 plus 1, 2. So now the name will be subnet hyphen 2. First name of the subnet will be subnet hyphen 1. Second name will be subnet hyphen 2. This thing will be clear once I will run it. Okay. So this is about the subnet creation. And after this, we have a route table. Again, the route table part also we can take it directly from here in this document. You will come here. And this is the route table code which we are taking it. Any example from here. So this route table also require the VPC, they require the CIDR block, they require the internet gateway IDs. So these three things they require. So exact same thing we mentioned it here in this route table. VPC ID, CIDR block. CIDR block means I want that it should go anywhere in the internet gateway. You have to use this internet gateway which we created in the previous step and keep the name of that route table as something like my public route table or something, because it will be able to go anywhere in the internet. That's why it is named as public route table I given. Okay, so simply copy this. So route table will be generated. That also I'm mentioning in this page only. So route table is done. Once this route table is done, the last one will be the route table association. Okay, we have to associate the route table. So again, to this also, we are just taking this code from here. So they're saying that if you want to associate the route table, you will require the subnet ID, you will require the route table ID. These two things you will require. So same thing if you try to find it here. So we given the subnet ID and we given the route table ID. So there are two subnet in our case, right? We have to associate it 2 times. So that's why again we use the count value. Okay. So again they will count that total count is 2. So first they will run at the 0 index, then they will run at the 1 index again. So first time they will associate the subnet -1, then second time they will going to associate with the subnet -2. Okay, that is the meaning here. So again, let me just copy this. So this one is answered. So in this part, we first created a VPC, we created an internet gateway, we created a subnet, we created a route table, we created a route table association. All the steps is done. Again, we'll save this file. After this, one more file we have to create, that is output.tf. That will basically help you to see the logic behind this element, everything. So for that purpose, I'm just writing. This output.tf file is not necessary. Okay, it will just help you to understand the logic, whatever we built in between this code. Why, what is element function is doing everything that you can understand it from here. Output.tf. Inside this, just the normal logic we are talking about, that how they are going to ask this VPC, CIDR, everything. So save this file. Okay. So all the 4 files is ready. And I will do CLS here. Now, after doing this, we have to create the VPC. Simply, I'll first hit the command called Terraform init. So, okay, first we have to go to that particular directory actually. So cd VPC. Then we have to hit the command called Terraform init. This is the first thing you have to do. Okay. Now, after this, simply you have to say Terraform. Can you plan after seeing the code if any error will be there or anything? They can quickly say it at this point only. So they are now checking all the code and they will plan that what are the resources they are going to do. So they are saying that total 7 resources is going to be created. And at last, I'm going to print you this IP. Okay, this is from coming from the output. So how this output is going to come? So I'm saying the first output, you have to print the VPC CIDR block. So see, they are printing here VPC CIDR block. And I'm saying that in the VPC CIDR block, what you have to print? You have to print the value of the var.vpc CIDR. And var.vpc CIDR value is 10.0.0.0/16. That's why they are printing it here. Second thing, we are talking about the subnet. Okay, so I said that to print the first subnet, I'm giving you the function called element. Inside this, you have to take the subnet CIDR and you have to print the 0th index. So if they will come in this subnet CIDR and in the 0th index, the value is 10.0.1.0/24. That's why they are printing. And similarly, at the first index we are talking about, okay, so they are just printing this one, 10.0.2.0/20. So that's how this logic is going to work in between this also, whenever we are mentioning this element, subnet, count.index. Now, after this, simply I will say that, okay, we check the plan, everything. Can you apply this entire thing now? Terraform apply. So now they are going to create everything. Okay, so simply press yes, they will create for you. The first thing they are going to create is the VPC. Once the VPC created, they are creating the internet gateway. Then they are creating 2 subnet. One subnet 0. The second time they are running the logic 1. Okay, so 2 times they are running the logic. Similarly, this internet gateway created route table associated. Again, we said that you have to associate the route table 2 times. So they are associating with 0, 1 also, 0 also, 1 also. Route table also they are associated it 2 times, 0 also, 1 also. Okay. Now if we'll come here and you'll see that is in my VPC got created. So yes, one VPC got created here with the name my VPC. Okay. It is created my VPC. So this subnet is created. What is the CIDR block they give it? 10.0.0.0/16. See, I in the starting itself, I already explained, right? Others are clear with the subnet and VPC, right? Subnet is the lab, VPC is the campus. Just think like that. Okay. During this example, I already shown you na, this first block. The outside block is the VPC. Okay. Inside this, whatever you are creating, this first lab and the second lab, this is the subnet one and the subnet two. Okay, so we can create multiple subnet inside a campus, right? So that's why there will be multiple subnet can be created in the VPC. Okay, but whatever the range, IP address range you associated to your college campus, like take an example from college, when I am buying some internet connection or something, I bought the 65,000 IP. Okay, so when my college is requiring any lab or something, so they will use the IP between that range only, right? You cannot take the or use the IP of some different college or something who took it, right? Whatever the things you pay for it, exact same thing you will use it, right? So here, if you are mentioning that we are going to use 65,000, so inside that 65,000 only, we have to use that IP also, this IP also, like this way. Okay. So if total there are 256 IP inside this range, okay, then you cannot run more than 256 computer inside this subnet. Okay, so like this way you have to understand. If you want to run more subnet, again you have to change this IPv6 IDR block value. So it can consist of more computer inside this. So this is about the subnet. I already explained, but you can go through it. Okay, like definition, everything exact definition wise if you want to go. So you can search it. Okay, there will be many terms you can get it. Like if I even search that AWS VPC terms, okay, if you search it, you will get many blogs there. Okay, even the Amazon official documentation is there. You can go through it. There you can explain. But the normal way I explained you. Okay, that is more than enough to understand. Okay, so our VPC is created with the name by VPC and CIDR block, whatever I provided. I provided the CIDR block as 10.0.0.0/16. Okay, so exact same thing it is there. Second thing we talked about, after VPC, you have to create some internet gateway. Okay. So is they created internet gateway? Yes, they created one internet gateway. And this internet gateway is associated with this VPC, my VPC, which I created. Okay. Now the subnet. So there are two subnet I created and the subnet name I given as subnet-1, subnet-2. How this name come? Count.index plus 1, count.index plus 2. So first index was 0. So 0 plus 1, 1. So they given the name as subnet 1. 1 plus 1, 2. So that's why they given the name as subnet 2. Again, this associated with my VPC. So this is associated to my VPC. What is the IPv4 CIDR range? 10.0.1.0/24. 10.0.2.0/24. Okay. So whatever the name I provided in this blog, so they only taken it. For first availability zone 1A, for availability zone 1B. What is the benefit of this, giving this? Okay. See, in company, we always go with the custom VPC, not the default VPC. Okay, because default VPC is used for testing purposes, everything. Okay. But when we build a new project, we go with the entire new VPC, okay, where we deploy entire our corporate application inside that particular lab format. One subnet we create just to store the database. One subnet we create just to store the front end application, like this way to go on. Okay, just focus on the class for next 5 minutes at least. Then I will show you and see whatever the code if I'm writing now. Okay, so I am going to show you one another way without writing this entire code. Also, you can set up the VPC with the help of the Terraform. Okay, so don't worry about it. Just Yeah. Sorry. So we are talking about this subnet 1 and subnet 2. Now see, I am going to show you what is the benefit of this giving this subnet. So let me just do it. See, I'm duplicating this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to launch a new EC2 instance. Okay. And rather than launching the new EC2 instance in the VPC, okay, we are going to launch it now in our own custom VPC, whatever we created. Okay. Some people always say that we are going to create private VPC or something, but see, private VPC is not the term. Okay. People just get confused between the public subnet, private subnet, and they say it as like we created this VPC, so this is the private VPC. This is not the private VPC. This is the custom VPC. You created it, you customized it. That's why, right? But it can be accessed by the private cloud also, public cloud also, right? So it is not like private VPC. VPC full form is itself the virtual private cloud, right? So there is nothing like private VPC, right? That means private virtual private cloud. It doesn't make sense, right? Its name should be custom virtual private cloud. So even in interviewer, sometimes interviewer also don't know. They just say that, okay, do you know about the private VPC? Okay, so that time try to understand that they are talking about the custom VPC only, not the term. That's all. Okay. So just keep this in mind. Because I saw in this industry, many people still they are saying that private VPC, private VPC. But there is a private subnet concept, not the private VPC. So we are going to launch the instance. Any instance we can give it like for like example, test instance, we are giving test one. I mean, let me give it to t2.micro. Keep here again, you can select any. But rather than choosing this VPC by default, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose my VPC. This is my VPC 10.0.0./16. Okay, and I believe see there are two subnet only. See there is a no option we are getting to launch the instance in 1C. Can you tell me why so? This is in Mumbai region. We should have the three availability zone, right? 1A, 1B, 1C. But why 1C option is not coming in this VPC? Anybody?
Because we only you only created two subnets.
Yeah, we only created two subnets. Okay, that's why. Okay, and it is not like in 1A I can create only one subnet. No, in 1A I can create three subnet also, four subnet also. Okay, that also we can do. But since we created two subnets, subnet is just like a lab. And also they are clearly saying that in this subnet one, you mentioned the CIDR range as 10.0.1.0/24. Okay, if I go in this subnet calculator, and if I write it here, 10.0.1.0/24, how many IP addresses consist? So they're clearly saying 256. So at max 256 computer we can launch inside this subnet one. Okay, that is the maximum we can do. So that's why they are saying maximum you can go with the 251. Why only 251? So you can see that 5 IP address AWS reserves for its use cases. Okay, like they have to launch a router there, they have to launch some switch there. Okay, so there are some networking devices they have to give it inside that subnet. So that subnet should have proper internet connectivity. Like in our home, we cannot directly a broadband wire will come and our laptop everything will be connected to internet. No, there will be ONU device, there will be router device, right? Then you will take the LAN cable from that and then you will attach to your computer. Your computer will get some IP address, then only you'll be accessible to internet. Okay, so 5 IP address AWS reserves, okay, in each subnet. So that's why we can go maximum 251 only. Total we had the limit of 256. Now we have only 251 only. 5 is reserved. So I am choosing the subnet one. So when I am choosing the subnet one, so you'll see that when my EC2 instance will be created, its IP address 10.0.1 up to here, it will be exact same. Only this last number, it will be going to differentiate it. It can be between 0 to 255, anything. Okay. Now let it be everything and simply click on launch instance. So one instance is going to launch in our custom VPC, not in the private VPC. Okay, custom VPC. So just keep that in mind. And this is our test one. So this is the public IP address associated. Okay, it can be random value, but see this private IP address. 10.0.1, it is exact same. Only this 246, it is going to differentiate it. Why this 10.0.1? Because I launched this EC2 instance in the subnet one. And in the subnet one, I said that your range will be between this. So the last one is only going to vary. Similarly, when I will be launching the subnet 2, what will be the IP? This 10.0.2 is going to be permanent. Like if I'm coming here and I'm launching one more instance quickly, test 2. Just let me launch one more here. Network setting. Again, I'm choosing our custom VPC. Subnet, this time I am choosing, see, here I launched one EC2 instance, right? So previously there were IP address available was 251, right? Now already we launched one EC2 instance. So now I can go maximum up to 254 more. In the subnet 2, we still have the 251 more we can do. But here also if I launch one more, so here also it will IP address level will be only 250, okay? So subnet 2, this time I am launching and simply click on launch list. This time you will see that our IP address will be 10.0.2 and then there will be some unique number. Okay. So this is our test 2, 10.0.2.7. Okay, so they are taking it. So hope now this makes sense you why I given this. Okay. So now when you are managing the bigger project, okay, and you know that, okay, whenever we are getting this IP as a log output or something, okay, this API associated with the subnet 2, that means there is some problem is happening in the subnet 2 only. So we can get easily manner, right? That's why we mentioned this type of the way. Like in the lab one, we said about, okay, all the mechanical related thing, all the front end application will be there in the subnet one. All the backend application will be in the subnet 2. All the database application will be in the subnet 3. Like this way, we'll do it. And is this clear? The custom VPC, how to launch it? That particular instance, if I want to launch in particular VPC, how to do it? Just simply in the network setting, you have to choose that and which subnet you are going to do. Now I'm terminating this instance. Now I am going to simply again I want to delete all the resources whatever created by the Terraform. Okay. Simply you will say that Terraform destroy. You will destroy all the resource. Okay, whatever the 7 resources they created. So they are going to say that I am going to destroy the 7 resources. Simply say yes. So now they will start. First, they are destroying the route table association. Now they are destroying the subnet. They are destroying the internet gateway. Now they are destroying the VPC also. Destroying the VPC will take around 2 to 3 minute time. Okay, VPC can be deleted in so quickly. But you will see other things they deleted already, like subnet. If I'll refresh this, subnet is deleted. If you talk about the internet gateway, so that internet gateway is also deleted. Only one is there. And route table. So again, that is deleted. Only one is there. Your VPC still is in the process of the deleting. Okay, but it will delete in some time. Okay, so this is also done. Now the question is like every time if we have to create this VPC or something, I have to write this entire code? No. Okay. Terraform developer, whoever developed the Terraform, okay, they already written all these things. Okay, like whatever the logic I am talking here about, okay, this logic I explained you to understand how it is going in backend. Okay, like to create a VPC, you have to create a VPC, you have to create an internet gateway, you have to create a route table, you have to do the subnet association. Okay, so now you got to know that all these terms are available there. Okay, so now you can simply go search about that Terraform. Do you have any module? Like in Ansible, we are searching about, right? Ansible modules. So similarly here also search Terraform. Do you have any VPC modules available with you? So I can directly use it. I don't have to write the code. So they will see that yes, I have a module called VPC. Okay. And this VPC module, you can directly download it and you can use it. Okay. How I can use it? So they're saying simply to use this, what you have to do is, okay, you have to create a file and you have to fill all this information inside that file. That's all you have to do. So it will be something like this. So Okay, BPC is still deleting. So let me to show the practical quickly. What I'm going to do is I'm manually deleting this BPC from here. So our Terraform will quickly get to know that our BPC got deleted. Okay. So like this we can also do, but Terraform will delete it, but it will take some time. Okay. Because BPC is just a bigger resource, so it takes a little bit time actually. Once it will confirm that no EC2 instances is running there, then on. But now I deleted here, so they automatically saw that okay, destroyed. So they are talking about what happened. Why I'm typing it. Okay, let me now close all this. Now close this BPC also. Now we are going to use the concept of BPC module. So simply create a new folder with the name BPC module. Okay. Inside this BPC module, what you have to do is the first thing you have to create a file with the name provider.tf. Okay, that is still important. Okay, without provider.tf you can't do anything. Okay, so provider.tf code is this one. Again, that one. Basically this AWS EP South one. This one you have to do. Okay. Okay. So this provider I give it. Now the second thing, you don't have to write the entire logic or anything. Okay, just create a normal file. Here in the document, I created the file with the name main.tf. Okay, you can give any name here. It is not like you have to give only main.tf or something. Simply give this main.tf. Okay, and inside this you have to write what you have to write. Whatever it is mentioned in this module section here, this copy this entire thing, and just paste it here. This and your thing is completed. Okay, they are going to do everything. You don't have to worry about. How so? So we are saying that you have to use a module called VPC from where they will download the module. They will download it from this location. So it's their duty how they will download it. Okay. Now the CIDR or the name, like take an example. I want to give my VPC name as my new VPC, something like this. I given the name. So I will just edit this name. CIDR this time I don't want to give 10.0 something. Let's take an example. I want to give uh, 11.11.0.0/60, something like this I give. Okay. Now I am going to launch it in the AP South. Okay. So I'm just writing here AP-South 1A. This time I'm going to launch the subnet in all the three availability zone 1A, 1B, 1C. So I can mention all the three. If I want to launch only in 1B and 1C, that also I can do. I will just remove one data from here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just trying to show you how to create in the three availability zone in a single row. I'm just mentioning the name here AP South 1B, and here I'm mentioning the name as AP South 1C. So just I'm editing this values. Okay, we don't have to worry about the logic, how the logic is going to do. Private subnet we don't require. Private subnet is the subnet in which there will be no internet connection. Okay, the computer which will be go inside this subnet, they will not have the internet connection. So just the things you have to understand. Public subnet, this subnet or this lab will be connected to the internet. So the computer which will be running in the public subnet, so it will be accessible to the internet. Okay, like in the college there will be some lab in which it is forbidden that you cannot access the internet, okay, from that lab. Okay, and there are some labs in which you can access the internet. Okay, so like this way only, that labs in which you don't access the internet, that is known as the private subnet, and the lab in which you can access the internet, that will be comes under the public subnet. So we are currently going to create the public subnet only. And our range, if I given this range, so this range should be also in between that only, right? So I'm just writing here 11.11. And take an example, this time I'm not going to start with the counting with 1 or 2. I can start with like 11.11. Take an example 12.0. Okay, and this one I am doing as 11.11.13.0. Okay, so it's totally on you. What are the value you can do? 11.11.40.0. So why I am changing this 14, 13 or 12 value? Because I written here 16. So I written the 16. So up to here, it should be always be equal, right? Only this value and this value I can change. Okay. So if I change this value, okay, the third octet, okay, like 12, 13, 14, then the last value 0 I written, right? So I given /24. So it can go up to 256 value. Okay. So you can directly check it from the subnet calculator again. It's totally the concept of the computer networking. So I'm not going to cover that. But just a rough idea. So this 0 is going to change only. So total 256, 256, 256 is going to be associated. NAT gateway, VPN gateway, we don't require. So simply just delete it. Tag, just let it with the tag. Okay. And just simply save this. So entire code is ready. Now you don't have to do anything. Okay. So this main.tf file makes sense to you now. Why we edited this? So it's totally on us. If somebody want to create with some different rails, they can just edit it. That's all. Okay. So once you've done this edit part, everything, here there is no confusion, right? Just say yes or no, so I can proceed. In this module VPC, I just copied the code from here at this point. That's all. We got it from the official documentation of VPC. Once it is done, simply you have to come here, and the first thing you will do is you will go to that particular directory, VPC module. So cd VPC module. Here what you have to do is first thing Terraform init. So when you will hit the command called Terraform init, what they will do, they will go to the internet and they will download the code related to this VPC. And I will show you whatever the logic we written. Okay, exact the same type of the logic they also written. But this time we are not manually writing it. Whatever the logic their developer written, that we are going to use it. Okay. So logic will be still same. So just let it be downloaded, then I will tell you. Okay, so this is downloaded. If I'll go inside this .terraform directory, so see there is a module. Inside this module, there is a VPC. We created also the file like right output.tf, variables.tf. If you'll go in the main.tf file, so see they also created the logic something like this. Subnet length, they are using, they are mentioning the CIDR block. Okay, then if you'll see here security group they are mentioning. So forget about that part. Let's come to our use case. So internet gateway, we given something like this only. Okay. Now similarly route table they are creating. Okay. Similarly, if you'll come down. So they also use that type of the logic. Whatever you mentioned it here, that is the count, what will be the index. Okay, like this way they are doing. If we'll go in this internet gateway part, not internet gateway, subnet. So see subnet. So they also use the element type of the block and count index everything to check everything. So they are also using this type of the logic only, but they do it little bit better way because their developer done it in the complex way. So it can cover all the situation. Okay, we done out the simplest way. So we don't worry about what are the code they are using. We have to just edit this main.tf file. That's all. I will save this simply file. After saving this file, simply will say the Terraform, can you plan this? What are the resources we will going to create? So this time they are going to create more resources than 7. Why? Because we are going with 3 abilities on this time. That means 3 subnet is going to create. So total 10 resources. 3 extra resources will be created. Okay. Now to do this, simply you have to say Terraform. Can you apply? So again, they will create a new VPC with this CIDR block, with this availability zone, this time 3 availability zone. So 3 subnet will be there. Simply press yes. So currently they are creating the VPC. They are creating the route table, then the subnet, internet gateway. They are associating the route public table. Okay. Now see, this time index is going with 0, 1, 2. Previously it was going only 0 and 1. Because this time 3 value is there, so index will be 0, 1, 2. Okay, so this resource is done. If I'll come here and if I'll go in our VPC, is the new VPC got created with the name my new VPC? Yes, it got created. Range is 11.11. That also got created. Have they created 3 subnet this time? So yes, they created 3 subnet. Previously, we used the logic called subnet -1, subnet -2 name, right? they use something different naming convention here. Okay, they use something like my new BPC public AP South 1B, 1A, 1C like that. So they created 3 subnet here. 1, 2, this is in 1C and this is in 1A. In 1A, they given this one 11.11.12.0. Here they given 11.11.13.0. Here they given 11.11.14.0. Similarly, now if somebody will try to launch any EC2 instance in that particular, okay, so they have the 3 option now. Like if I'll come here, and I will show you this part, network setting. And if I'm going to select that BPC, custom BPC which we created, so this time we'll get the 3. Okay, and whatever the name they give it like this, and 251 IP is available here, 251 IP is available here like this. So now you can choose any one, 1A, 1B, 1C. Okay, like this way. And fill all this information, launch the instance. If you are choosing the 1B, you will see that your instance IP will be 11.11.13. Then the last value is going to be changed something. So that's all for the BPC point of view. Okay, and this entire this folder. Okay, I am going to upload. There is a one folder that I already created. Okay, so we have a zip file for that. So just let me check. Yeah, so this is a zip file for that. Okay, and again here also we created exact same way, Apache user EC2 instance that I am just going to move you. Okay, so simply what I can do is, so if somebody want, they can directly extract this and you can open the VS Code editor in that particular. Yeah, okay, let me just upload it in the document section only. Meanwhile, anybody have any question till now, you can ask me. This was not from my side. Now the syllabus is over. Okay. Now, if you have anything question to ask.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I'm really thankful for your clear and concise explanation, sir. Really appreciate your the style of teaching, sir. Really, I never seen the person like you.
Thanks for that.
Yeah, and also, sir, one minute, could you please help me? Sir? I mean, could you please do us a favor, sir?
Yeah, sure.
I need actually DevOps sample resume, sir.
Sample resume, I think team will provide you. You can ask them. No? They have actually.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, so team can provide you easily.
So all the videos are uploaded, na, sir, till date?
Yeah, I think 1 or 2 lecture is missing that they will upload it. Like yes, this is the 15, 16, 17. Okay, so the remaining one which is not uploaded. Okay, so that they will upload it. Okay, up to 39 it is already uploaded. I think 1 or 2 lecture is only that missing. Today one and I think yesterday one.
Yeah, sure, sir. And can I have your contact number, sir? In case.
See, you can ask the team anytime. Okay, they will forward that message to me. Okay, no issue for that. You can keep the email if you want. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, this is my email. Okay.
1 minute, sir. Roy Kishan 8. Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is my email. You can come here anytime. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, I have a question as well. I have an interview next week for DevOps role.
Okay.
Just wanted to see if there's any resources I could go through for question bank, because they're using the online test mechanism to first gauge
Okay.
the candidate's technical ability.
Okay,
Is
so
there a
what I can
doubt?
do is, okay, so what I can do is in the document section, okay, I have some resources available, okay, regarding that AWS and DevOps related interview question, everything, okay, that I will upload it here, so you can go through it, okay, like that, so it will
Yes,
help.
please. Thank you.
Okay, that I will upload it here in the document section. By today evening, I will try to upload it, okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other thing, anybody? So try to
No,
revise the BPC. Okay, BPC is the most important topic. If you clear the doubts of, like if you know the definition of the public subnet, private subnet, what is the route table, what is the internet gateway. Just by like searching on the Google, you remember these all things. And if you try to explain as it is, whatever the example I provided you, that there is a college campus that you can treat it as a BPC. Inside that there are multiple labs. If you explain like this, people will think that you really worked with the BPC, you know everything, and that's more than enough to clear any interview. Okay, BPC concept is the most important thing. That's why I taken this topic at the last. Okay, so you all can at least remember this. Okay.
Yeah, sure. And can you please send me this link, sir? Google Drive link. Actually, I missed my WhatsApp got reset.
I think you have, what is your name? Binayak, right?
Vinay, yes, sir.
Yeah, you have the access. Okay, let me just keep it in Drive. Okay, then. Okay, I'm pasting it in chat. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, sure, sir.
Okay.
Sorry, just one more last question. How long are we going to have access to these resources? Are they going to be removed at some stage?
I think currently they will have it. You can ask the team, but I think they will keep it as it is. They are not going to remove or something.
Okay. Thank you.
But safer side, I will suggest you that take a copy of this. Okay, because you all have the access of it, right? So it's better to take a local copy also. So if something wrong happens with this email, wherever this is associated with, okay, so you can still have the access.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks all of you. Have a nice carry.
Yeah, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for your precious teaching, sir.
Thanks. Same here. Okay, all of you. Have a nice career and enjoy your life. Thanks.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank you so much, sir. Bye, sir. Take care, sir.
Yeah, bye.